We have traveled all over Kenya to find hard-working farmers.
We want to celebrate them while giving them the help they need to improve their farms,
get better yields,
and build profitable businesses.
We will see how farmers from across the region can benefit from our experts' advice,
while also learning from each other in so many ways.
Join us on these journeys and share in the farmers' experiences as they shape up their shambas.
Karibu to the Shamba Shape Up Safari.
Welcome
to Shamba Shape Up.
Today we are in Kiambu County.
And we have a bumper episode for you.
We are featuring farm transport, maize, biogas, fish farming,
planting techniques, and targeted feeding.
So much to do.
And so much to find out.
Let's get to work.
Let's go.
Wow, this is a really bumper-packed episode.
Just as well, I have flowers to look forward to then, Tony.
We are visiting Farmer Michael Ndiba, a keen flower farmer. They look beautiful.
Well, let's go and meet him and find out what else he grows on the farm.
Hey. Mr. Ndiba.
Hello.
How are you, sir?
I'm very okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Welcome here.
Thank you
so much.
Show us your shamba.
Yeah, we can do that.
All right.
Yeah.
Mr. Ndiba's farm is in the rich, fertile lands of Kiambu.
He grows maize.
Not long until harvest time, Tony.
There are cabbages. Ah, look, Caro. There is a fish pond. And here are the potatoes too.
Well, Tony, let's see how we can help.
Yeah, beautiful.
Very beautiful. Very beautiful
shamba. But I'm sure there are problems here and there.
Maybe we don't have enough information. So if given advice, I think we would maximum our profit.
Yeah.
In one, like you can see maize.
Yes.
We just plant maize without having somebody to tell us the best variety. I wanted to start fish farming.
Then what happened?
Nobody advised me how to go about it.
So they all died?
They all died.
Tony will do something about that.
Yes. And what else?
I have a biogas, yes. I invested a lot of money on it. It's not doing to my expectation. We just make tea. After that is finished.
When you see Shamba Shape Up here, rest assured that we're going to do our very best to make sure that your shamba is fully shaped up.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank
Now, Mr. Ndiba, do you keep
please.
records?
I do keep, but I just scribbling on a paper.
It's very important to keep records because you can know how your farm is doing. And we in Shamba Shape Up are going to give you the farmer's record book. So that you keep all your records there. It's simple. Okay,
right.
We'll see you later.
Okay.
Enjoy the book.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
All right.
So let's pitch the tent and get ready for work.
Well, Tony.
Yes, Caro.
Are you ready for a hard day's work?
Of course I'm ready.
We have an expert on maize storage,
an expert on biogas, and one on farm transport too.
But first, I'm going to see to the maize.
And I'm going to introduce our farmer to fish farming.
Okay, Caro. See you later.
On the way to my first expert of the day, we had some good news. The soil test results for the maize field have arrived. Getting the right balance of nutrients can make the difference between getting a poor harvest and a very good harvest. Boron, magnesium, and sulfur levels are low. So, to grow maize, our farmer needs a fertilizer with sulfur, a high level of boron, and nitrogen too. Let us find our farmer and give him the news.
One of the important things that the farmers need to know is the topography of the farm, and this we mean whether the land is slopey, whether it is flat, how the contours run. Because if the farm is very slopey, then the farmer needs to look at the soil conservation measures, because if you let the water run all the way from the hill down to the valleys, you lose a lot of soil and a lot of nutrients, and therefore you need to be very careful. And that is why you need to look at possibilities of establishing soil conservation measures.
What soil conservation measures do you recommend?
One, there are those trenches that we do where you dig a trench across the farm. That is guided by the degree of the slope.
Dig trenches along the contour of the land. so the trench is always the same level. This holds back rainwater and spreads it evenly across the field.
You can also plant some fodder crops across the land, well spaced, depending again with the topography of the farm.
Plant fodder crops in between the maize, spaced out across the field, again following the contour of the land. This helps the soil and stops it being carried away by the rain.
The other one you can do, you can just establish some cover crops right in front of your farm to ensure that all the run of water is held up there.
Cover crops can be planted at the edge of the field. This will hold back rainwater by helping it seep into the ground before it has a chance to run off.
So once the soil conservation measures are done, what's next?
The next thing is to till your land. Tell me, how do you prepare your land?
I do double digging.
Good. I'm also happy that you've talked about double digging, because if you don't double dig your soil, you will not have enough soil that will hold enough water for your crop, just in case we have some drought in the course of the crop development period.
Double digging means digging a hole twice in the same spot, so it's deeper, ideally around 30 centimeters. Double digging breaks the hard pan and helps the rain soak through to the roots of the plant. If the hard pan is not broken, it forms a barrier and the rainwater does not reach the plant roots. But is a seed choice also important in getting a good harvest?
How much do you get from like a packet of maize in this region?
We don't harvest very much, but at least we get about 15 bags in an acre.
Why should Mr. Ndiba and other farmers use your products?
We are expert in seed business. We have hybrid seeds for different crops and for different agroecological zones. We have a seed for the low areas. We have one very popular variety in the country called Duma. We also have another one we call Sungura for the low areas. We have Punda Milia for the medium altitude varieties. We have Simba for the transitional zones. And we have the Tembo and the Twiga for the high altitude areas.
So, Mr. Kimani, what seed do you recommend for this area?
This area, we have a variety called Tembo. Tembo is a 5.5 months duration variety to physiological maturity. It is tolerant to all those highland diseases, and also it is able to fight the drought to some extent in the event there is some drought in the course of the crop development. And therefore, that is why we recommend this variety. Again, it's a very good producer.
If Michael follows our expert advice and with proper farm management, he should expect to get over 30 bags per acre. Not bad.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kimani.
Most welcome.
Good.
Yep.
Mr. Ndiba has a fish pond, but his last attempt at fish farming failed. So we've asked Irene from Unga to see if she can help. Irene is an expert on fish feed. Now, let's see what were the problems Mr. Ndiba faced.
In the first place, I didn't get anybody to advise me on how to rear fish.
Okay.
So when I started, in fact, I didn't go far. So I got discouraged.
How many fingerlings did you keep?
It was 1,000. This was tilapia.
Tilapia.
Yeah.
Judging by the space, the depth, do you think that's the right number to keep?
This one is 8 by 8 and the depth
This is 1.5.
1.5 meters. The number of fingerling per square cube is 4 fingerlings.
So, to find out how many fish can fit in a pond, multiply each cubic meter by 4. For this pond that's 8 meters wide by 8 meters long by 1.5 meters deep. That's a total of 96 square meters. Multiplied by 4, this gives 384 fish.
So I think he went overboard a little bit, and probably that is why he got those challenges. Yes.
So Mr. Ndiba is still interested in trying again. We believe when you fall, you can wake up and, rise again.
Yes.
What will you advise?
I think I can take you to a farmer. He does tilapia farming, so he can train you and also you can learn more from him.
We can do that now?
Yes.
Okay, let's
Yes.
go. Let's go. Irene is taking us to meet John Watanga. He's made a big success from fish farming. So we want to find out his secrets and see if Mr. Ndiba feels like starting again with his own fish farm. A tilapia weighing around half a kilo can be sold at a market for around 200 shillings. After costs are deducted, that's a profit of around 90 shillings per fish. For the 400 fish that will fit in Mr. Ndiba's pond, this will come to a profit of approximately 36,000 Kenya shillings.
So Mr. Ndiba here, he wants to know what is so important when you want to do fish farming.
First of all, you must look at how you locate your fish ponds. Now, when it is hilly, when the rain comes, maybe your fish can be washed away, or So such issues you must consider. Secondly, you must consider the water source, because you will need some refreshment of your ponds each and every time. After constructing your pond, you must fertilize the pond to enhance the natural fertility. For his case, he can use maybe chicken manure, or even the cow dung.
Okay, the cow dung.
Yeah, you can use it.
You've talked about food, and that brings me to this question. Irene, what is the right regime for feeding the fish?
The fish requires the zooplanktons and phytoplanktons, but this can't grow fish to market sizes quick if a farmer is looking to invest in that business. So they need different feeding regimes and with different feeding types. So for a farmer who is bringing the fingerling, and from 20-gram fish, they feed a 2mm pellet, which is our Fugo Tilapia Pre-Grower pellet. And you feed it from 20-gram fish to 60-gram fish. So when they reach 60-gram fish, you change the feed and you feed 3mm Fugo Tilapia Grower pellet. You feed it from 60 grams up to 200 grams. So from 200 grams, you also you feed the grower pellets, which is Tifugo Tilapia High Pro Finisher. And High Pro Finisher is 30% crude protein, and you feed it from 200 up to the market size. If you're targeting 500 gram market size, you feed it up to there. If you're targeting 1 kilo, you feed it up to 1 kilo.
So Irene, why is it so important to have targeted feeding?
The fish, when they are young, they need more protein. As they grow older, you reduce on protein and you increase on energy. And this one also is cost effective for the farmer. And at the end of the day, if you feed the fish right, we are targeting a period of maximum 6 months. And you're targeting a market size of 500 grams.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, half a kilo.
That's half a kilo.
Half a kilo.
Okay.
That's fish that is ready for the market.
Yes.
Okay.
Hey, maybe tell us, is fish farming profitable?
Yeah, it's profitable. In this case, the production cost, you lose like 60%
Yes.
of all the cost to the marketable size.
Okay.
Then you will get almost like 40% profit.
Caro,
Yes, Tony.
how is it going?
Tony, you know, fish farming, if done properly, is a very profitable business.
And that's not all. Coming up after the break,
Save money using biogas
how to store maize.
and ideas for improved farm transport.
Welcome back.
To Shamba Shape Up.
We are in Kiambu and we are visiting Michael Ndiba
We've seen how to prepare the land for planting maize,
and how to keep fish,
but we also want to find out about biogas for cooking
looking after maize after harvest.
and farm transport.
So, no time to waste.
Let's get to work.
Biogas is a great way to get free cooking gas for the kitchen, but it can be a murky business. Concrete systems can be expensive and they take up a lot of space. So we are taking Michael to meet Jane, a farmer nearby who has a portable biogas system made of plastic. First, let's see if it really works.
I'm making tea.
You're making tea?
Yeah.
So we are going to have a cup later.
Yeah.
That's good. So what are you using?
I'm using home biogas kutoka Amelan.
From Amiran?
Yeah.
All right. So how long does it last?
Napiga nayo asubuhi.
I cook with it in the morning. I make tea, eggs, and boil water.
Nusa maji ya kuoga. Alafu lunch time napiga.
Then at lunchtime, I cook vegetables, rice, and at night, I cook ugali and vegetables.
Gari napiga mboga.
Does it work faster?
Very fast. Kama hii chai na.
This tea will be ready in 10 minutes.
It's ready in 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. I can see there are pipes here.
Yeah.
Where do they lead to?
Inatoka kwa hii.
These pipes come from the biogas outside.
It's outside.
Yeah.
Is it possible to see it?
Yeah.
We'll come back later for the tea.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Hi.
Well, home biogas from Amiran certainly produces excellent cooking gas. Now, let's have a look at the system itself. Wow! Look at this. Well, it's certainly not concrete. And this here is Peter, our expert from Amiran. Let's find out if he's going to convince Michael that this new system is better than his old concrete system.
So, Peter, what do we have here?
This is the new biogas system called Home Biogas System from Amiran Kenya Limited. This system provides gas for cooking. You cook in the morning, you cook lunch hour, and in the evening. And also you boil water for washing.
All right.
Yeah.
So, how does it work?
This is where we put the pig manure or cow manure or kitchen waste.
All right.
It goes inside the digester. It stays for 1 week. Digestion takes place called anaerobic digestion. After that, gas comes up here to this balloon, the storage of the gas.
Is that gas?
This is gas, yeah. When it is full, it's enough for the cooking for the whole day. And there is a pipe there going to the kitchen. You just look through the window, you see the amount of the gas which is here. Just through the window. You don't have to buy a gauge.
With ours, you must have a gauge.
How many buckets of manure do you feed?
That one is serious. You know, you have to give it 4 buckets a day.
4 buckets?
4 buckets a day.
You are worker, you run
manure.
away. For this one, we just need 1 bucket per day. Yeah.
Just one?
1 bucket. Enough for the cooking for the whole day. If you don't have cows, you feed chicken manure. If you get a sack of chicken manure, it can go for 2 months. Chicken manure, yeah. If you don't have chicken manure, you feed with the food waste. Yeah.
All right.
And when you feed, you don't have to get dirt.
I have lost a lot of very nice employees. They have gone. Like today, I'm doing it alone. Not only that, every morning I have to change my clothes because it is dirty.
Our system occupies a very small space, just 3 feet by 7 feet. Even when you are living in town, you just find somewhere to keep it in town. The one you have, you can't do it in town. The material lasts for over 10 years. It is made by qualified people.
What will happen in case I travel? Someone travels and leaves it here. Is it going to burst maybe?
No, it has a system of releasing the gas. It will escape somewhere there. It's a pressure release.
Yes.
It will not blow. The price, it is the cheapest in Kenya.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you said it is movable. You can move it.
It's movable. You can even sell to someone. You just open there, you drain the cylinder inside, and you sell it to someone.
You sell it to somebody.
It comes in a very small package. You can just carry it. Yeah.
What a great system! And all in a box that can be easily carried. It looks like home biogas is finally available to anyone who has even a small space outside their house, town or country. I like that. The entire system costs Kenya shillings 54,000.
Now, time to take a look at the maize store. Michael currently keeps his grain inside the house, mainly as a security measure. We are worried this might cause problems. So we've asked our expert Mtembei from Cereal Growers Association to take a look and give us some advice. Let's meet him outside and see what he has to say.
Your grains is stored together in some clothes and some beds. Why is that?
Within this area, we experienced a lot of people coming to steal from the stores.
Insecurity.
And it drove us into putting our grains in the house.
What's the danger of doing that?
There is little chance of supervising whether the grains has been infested by either rodents or the weevils. Then the other thing is, within the same room, there is a chance that some of clothes might not be dry. The room itself has little room for air circulation. And when the grain gets wet, we basically say they are contaminated. The moisture contamination will lead to growth of molds. These molds can easily lead to aflatoxin.
Yeah, now that you have mentioned about aflatoxin, I've never learned what it is.
Aflatoxin basically is a poisonous substance found in grains, especially maize grains, when they are not stored well, and it is caused by fungus. The aflatoxin itself is that it can cause serious loss of immunity in one's body or the consumer of that maize. You can easily die, or it can cause problems such as cancer because it leads to liver problems and it can easily cause liver cancer.
How can I tell if my grains have the aflatoxin?
It is quite difficult for you to tell. What we advocate for is a proper handling mechanisms that will reduce chances of contamination. Prevention. You prevent anything that can lead to contamination.
To prevent aflatoxin, ensure the grain is dried properly. Don't dry directly on the ground. Dry on a tarpaulin. Then ensure the storeroom is dry with free movement of air.
And these days also, you can use the hermetic storage bags to control the weevils, because also weevils spread the fungi that bring in aflatoxin.
What are these bags that you've mentioned?
This is a bag that basically has the polythene inside, such that it doesn't allow any flow of air from outside. It means in case there was some infestations of like weevils, they will definitely die because of suffocation.
So what do you recommend?
The grain needs to be moved to a different room where there is good aeration. Number two, where also you have raised the grain from the floor.
Time our Shamba Shape Up crew got into action preparing a new grain store for Mr. Michael Ndiba right next to the chicken house. So anyone coming in at night, Mr. Ndiba has a natural alarm to warn him of the danger. Wooden pallets are essential. They'll keep the hermetic bags off the floor and away from moisture. The bags are also kept away from the walls. So Mr. Ndiba can easily tell if there are any rodents trying to hide in the store. And the hermetic bag will kill any pests like weevils that might be inside, all without having to dust with pesticide. That's it. Nice job. Now, time for our final expert.
And here he is, Martin from Simbakup. Mr. Ndiba is a member of ASACO, so we've invited some of them along to see the Mitsubishi L200 pickup. Martin is convinced it's just what our farmers need to help with transportation from farm to market.
All right, so Mr. Ndiba, tell me about the SACCOs.
We do dairy farming.
Okay.
Where we have about 247 members so far. We bag their milk and then we sell.
How do you transport this milk?
Today we are using the motorcycles. Yeah.
And I'm sure it's quite expensive.
Yeah, it's quite expensive because normally we hire a vehicle to do that work.
So Martin, what do you think this vehicle can do to our farmers?
Right, so basically what you're able to carry with this vehicle is just over a ton.
So when you talk about 1 ton, that translates to about how many cans of milk?
1 can is 50 kg.
Ideally, you're supposed to be able to load around 20 of those cans.
Wow. Yeah. Is it that good, farmers?
Yes.
Can you imagine 20? That would have been how many? 20 motorcycles. But now you're using only one vehicle.
Do you have a warrant for this car?
Yes, this being a brand new car, it comes with a 3-year or 100,000 kilometer warranty.
Where do you get a spare part of this car?
For spare parts, of course, we have our headquarters in Nairobi, but we have branches and dealers spread across the country.
Yes.
We have experienced a lot of counterfeit spare parts.
Yes.
How would one differentiate the counterfeit and the original?
So for the original spare parts, you can get it at any Simbakup branch, either in Nairobi, in Mombasa, in Kisumu, in Kisii, or from our appointed dealers. From there, you are sure of getting an original spare part.
My question is the car economical? Can you explain us about the fuel consumption?
It's able to give you a fantastic fuel consumption of around between 12 and 14 kilometers per liter.
My question is this: what are your terms selling the berries to the society and to a personal thing?
Okay.
As Simba Corp, we love to work with the SACCOs and come up with favorable terms for the SACCO. Right? We also partner with most of the major banks in the country, where you can get financing from as little as 54,000 per month.
54,000 Kenya shillings per month may seem a lot, but Mr. Ndiba belongs to 2 SACCOs. Together, they have approximately 350 members. So, if they share the truck, each farmer would only have to contribute around 150 shillings a month. And not only will the farmer save on the existing transport costs, but when the truck is not being used, it could be hired out to generate extra income.
So what they wanted to do with this Mitsubishi vehicle is basically to match the utility of the vehicle, that's the ruggedness, and the comfort, right? So that's something that the farmers will be able to enjoy, being able to do your work, but in a very comfortable way so that you're not tired. And specifically for this L200 Mitsubishi pickup, it comes with the AAA advantage.
What's that?
In AAA, you come with the safety, which is the airbags, the air conditioning system, and the ABS. Well, the ABS system basically is the anti-lock braking system, which helps you be able to maneuver the vehicle in an emergency situation when your foot is slammed on the brakes.
So, Diva,
yes,
you and your fellow farmers are going to sit and you'll discuss whether you need the truck or not. But I know you'll buy it, yes?
Yes.
Yes. Ah, that is nice.
Hey, hi, Caro.
Hi, Tony, right on time. Say hi to Tony.
Hi. Hello, farmers. Hi. Was a yes for me?
We are buying the truck. We are buying the truck.
Yes. So you have agreed?
Yes.
So many yeses. Have you enjoyed the show today?
Yes.
Obviously.
A lot of education, a lot of new things.
All right.
Yes.
So we'll see you next time right here on Shamba Shepherd.
Thank you.